Right, December 31st, the last day in the year. So I'm going to pull from a few cards. I'm going to pull from this card, okay? This one, because it's the last day. And I'm also going to, I don't know what I'm going to pull from that one. I'm going to pull from the regular tarot deck, okay? And I have a few cards up here. I wanted to do an animal card, but I don't have the animal card that I want to use close by. So I'm also going to pull, because it's the last day of the year, from Wisdom cards. Please republish this, because I've lost about 14 cards in this, and it's 64 cards in that deck. So it's the last day of the year, so I'm just going to shuffle this one first. Let me pull this, put this here, and I'm gonna kind of move back a little bit so we get more of a view. Okay, so I'm gonna pause. Okay, so let's shuffle this baby. Okay, so that's the card. I am good enough, and it pretty much says it. I'm going to flip to the back too. So I am good enough. So this message is for you to close out the year. You are good enough. So I was going to say we all deserve love, but you know what? We all have to form it and create it. Anything you want, it's not given to you. You have to make it. If you want to feel safe, if you want love, if you want happiness, if you want to be around, people that are good for you. And I got this card before recently when I pulled it, and I love it because you see the blue, how the people are in blue here, and the blue dots around your heart. I feel symbolically, to me, I don't know what she thought of when she made the card, but I know it's all good, right? But it's like that energy of love around you. When you know that you're around good people that care for you, that their everyday process is to make sure that you're safe, especially if you're a child. But then you also are taught these values of how you treat yourself, how you treat others. What's right and what's wrong is based on your culture, right? The way you were raised. So it's just having good people around you, strong people around you, wise people around you. And it's just knowing that I am good enough, and you have to know that, and you have to instill that, right? So I think that's a beautiful message. I want to pull from the angel prayers, right? Prayers are very powerful. Affirmations, chants, very powerful. So let's pull. What's the message for the last day of the year for everyone? Okay, leap of faith. I'm ready to take a leap. Angels. Okay, so I'm ready to take a leap, angels. Thank you for doing it with me. So just know that you have angels with you, right? That are there to guide and protect you. And what are angels? Angels are like celestial beings created by the divine, right? As guardians, they govern certain things, certain places, people, right? Situations. So it's just putting that positive understanding that you have that. I'm going to pause. That you have this protective energy around you. Okay, what a beautiful message. And I really love this image. Is very strong, and yeah, I really like it. It's so funny because it made me think of, I'm watching Star Trek Discovery, so it kind of made me think of the Red Angel. If you haven't watched it, it's actually a good series. But leap of faith, right? So I'm ready to take a leap, angels, right? And angels, I like that, plural. So you have a guardian angel, and there's other angels there. So, thank you for doing it with me. So basically, you are not alone, right? And we're not alone. I mean, whatever we believe, there's something greater than us that created us. So let's, the Psychic Tarot for the heart. And I like these cards. I haven't bought new cards in a while. But I did recently, so I'll make videos on that. So let's get a heart one, because I think this world needs more love. So I've been vibing on these heart cards. Okay, so the heart card. We have share the love. How perfect to end the year. Share the love. Okay, of course. If there's a broken heart, you can see that. You have the power to heal it. You have the power to do what is right in life, right? And what is right is usually doing what you feel is something that you would want done unto you, right? So that's usually how we would feel that. But extending love in your relationship, extending love to yourself first, because you can't give what you don't have. So it's extending that love to yourself and then extending that love to someone else, right? So healing that heart, who, around you that is close to you, that you can extend that love to the people at home, because home, is very important, right? Home is where the heart is, yeah, but, our home, that's where most of our work should be done and most important. So, and before I look at the card's meaning, I wanted to say that I also intuitively feel that we can actually send that energy out, right? We can fill ourselves with that energy of love, of healing, and that will hopefully, in most cases, lessen our experience and encounters with negative people, right? But it's just brightens someone else's day as well. And yeah, that's a really good thing. If we can take a moment in the day to just like set a positive intention, it will hopefully provide us with a better day or lessen the negative impact of that day. So in this card deck, the sharing the love talks about friendship, celebration, community, and also rejoicing, right? So it's about being there for your community, right? Being there for someone else, being supportive, right? I like this. The very last sentence is, feel the joy of connecting with others and sharing your love in that way. So a very healing card about really being there for others. A lot of us, we're going through our desires, things that we want to accomplish, things that we feel that we need in life, right? And that the want can bring about stress, anxiety, and this has been a very challenging year for a lot of us. So, for a lot of people, it wasn't great for relationships. But if you already have a strong faith and a strong foundation, and you have been working on yourself, this year has brought together also in tough years wonderful people that will make hopefully a positive difference. Let me pull a tarot. So this is longer for the daily tarot because this is the last day of the year. I felt just inspired to do something different. What's the message for the last day of the year for everyone? Ooh, the Devil card, the last day of the year. Okay. Major Arcana, the message, right? This year was like, please don't go out with a horrible bang, but the Devil card is so misunderstood. And the Devil card, it really talks about who's in power. You have to ask yourself, who's the boss, right? Who's in power? Because it's about feeling hopeless. It's about bondage, things that control you, right? What controls you, right? And you should be finding balance within yourself. So it's like flipping a negative into a positive, or understanding the power of something. Everything has a yin and yang. So what are these material things that you feel will weigh you down? Doesn't mean that you can't enjoy them, but they shouldn't be the main focus. What has more power over you? A food that you like, a drink that you like, a certain behavior. So understand what you're feeding and then have power over that. Feeling hopeless, well, this year has its challenges, right? So it's about really empowering yourself and saying what has power over me, or what is trying to have power over me, and then you projecting that, okay? You projecting that and say, hey, I have to have control over myself, right? I want to pull another card. So I busted out this tarot, okay, the Wildwood Tarot, and it has like a very it's a winter theme, right? And I really like it. So I'm gonna look in the book for the meaning of it because I haven't played with this card a lot. So it's a really cool looking deck, and I really like it. And I really enjoy seasonal cards, and I want to be creative with that, you know, find my own creation with that. So we're gonna vibe on this for the last day of the year. Okay, so let me just shuffle this baby up. I already shuffled it a lot. This one fell out. I'm gonna go with this one. It fell out. The Ancestors. That one just popped out. I like that. So I'm gonna find it in the book. Okay, very interesting. Oh my gosh. So at the start of the book, this is the Ancestor card, okay? So it's the sixth card, because the first one is a 0, the Wanderer, which is kind of like, you know, I'm assuming the Fool in tarot, right? And then it goes to the Shaman, the Seeker, the Green Woman, and then the Green Man, and then, you know, the Ancestor. So it's more like a northern kind of mythological, you know, ancestry, but still it holds the message of ancestors, and it symbolizes, it's placed in between the nexus between the past winter and the coming spring. The ancestors stand in Ebok, so at the celebration, which falls on February 1st. So she is associated with the new moon and the element of air and fire. And I feel like this message is like, you know, the ending to 2020, which we really have to think about how, and I thought about this for years, how our ancestors lived, what's important to us now. And all this foolishness wasn't really important to them back then. It was like survival, right? But it was also about protecting yourself and really holding on to, or trying to hold on to, understanding your culture and knowing it, for those of us who have to fight for that. But this ancestor card, I feel, and from reading the meaning part, was really interesting, because when you pass on, you will meet up with your ancestors, and hopefully, you know, not the ones that were about some BS. So the ancestors greet you as you walk up the path that leads to the forests, right? So I was reading a little bit of this, but what was interesting, the interesting part, which we all have to really go through our own karmic journey when we pass. And in the book, I like this one part: the ancestors stand between the gateway of nature that leads into the far forest. This is another beginning. Once you pass through the gateway, you must strive to stay on the path and see the journey through to the end. So sometimes for some people, they cannot, I feel guided to say this, some people, they cannot connect with their ancestors because they were bastards. But then if you dig deep, right, that they weren't that spiritual, right? They were just lost in you know, whatever religious matrix, right? They weren't spiritually connected. So when they passed on, they had to do their own spiritual journey. So sometimes you have to go further back to another ancestor that really was connected to creator and not to an organization. So, you know, that could be a hard journey to connect to ancestors. I met another person that was like, oh, my ancestors were all jerks, you know, you know, and, you know, we have to have a deep connection to ourselves, to what our life message is. And this year, if we haven't learned that, then nothing will open up our hearts, our soul. It just won't make us a better person. And that's fine. So I feel the strong message is really working on ourselves and having love for ourselves, having faith that we have that protection, healing ourselves and being healing to others. Really still a daily work on things that are challenges in our lives, right? And sometimes we have to be that devil. We have to, you know, kind of flip it, you know, and say, I'm the one that's in control of my life, my destiny, and have that power over it. And then the ancestors are also saying that, you know, they're there, and you connect to the good ones, the ones that you need to connect to. And and pull on that power. And I think as a collective, no matter where you're from, you know, focusing on that better creation of energy, and we can push that into the coming spring. But like I said, January 1st is waxing moon, so it's not, for me, it's not about setting an intention for, say, tomorrow, January 1st, right? It's about realizing where you are is still in winter. And I want to make a video on that because I found this writing that really explained it, and I think it's more from the Chinese culture, but it really is another piece to the puzzle of how people, our ancestors and people from the past, understood the seasons and really lived in harmony, in Zen, if you will, with the season, so that you're not out of balance and you live with the cycles of the moon, and you live in the day and you live in the night, and you're in harmony with both. That's the balance. So we'll get to that, but just know that. And it's funny that it's 5, because I mean, we're going into a 5-year, 2021. I didn't mean for this video to be long, but I'm going with the flow. But this is 5, and I thought that was really interesting that this card dropped out, because we're going into a 5-year, and all the elements, whether you're doing earth, air, fire, water, or you're doing the Chinese, which is wood, water, air, earth, and then you have spirit, and hopefully I'm not forgetting anything. You have metal. So it's like working with these elements and connecting to them and realizing that we have to have that balance within ourselves, and then project that into our daily lives, right? So yeah, just be mindful of who is trying to control who, and really having control over ourselves, right? And there can still be balance. And before there were any big religions, there was a connection to your ancestors, because those were the people placed here to raise you, protect you, take care of you. So you'd honor your ancestors, you'd think of them, you know, and you would continue on the wisdom, hopefully, that they teached you, right? And just be in a balance person, being spiritual, and also being logical for your survival and your safety. So I'm just wishing everyone the best for the new year, and I hope you enjoyed this last day reading. It was bigger than I thought. I wasn't even expecting this, so yeah, pretty cool. All right, so I'll see you guys next time. Wishing everyone the best for this new year coming, and yeah, just burn this year away. Like, I'm done. Wishing everyone the best. All right, peace. I had to come back on here and do this because I forgot it. So I am not restricted by old limiting beliefs from my family or from society. So this went along with the card on the back here too. I am good enough, where my interpretation of family, of love, and everything like that, right? So it went along with everything that I said about this card, and it went along well with the Devil card, you know, what restricts us, and going back into the Ancestors card from the Wildwood Tarot deck, and Jupiter and Saturn in Capricorn, and when it switched over in December to be in an Aquarius, and just realizing what Saturn represents, which is good, but it also has restrictive, it represents restriction, structure, which is good, but also the restriction that is bad, and the old way of doing things, that certain old way of doing things just doesn't work, it's not right. Some old way of doing things, yes, it's good, but no matter what time we live in, certain things are just not right. And this new Aquarian age represents getting rid of that, right? So there's the good and the bad aspects of Saturn, right? What it represents. And then Jupiter wants us to expand, wants us to grow, wants us to feel lucky and prosperous. And that's good, you know, a more easier flow. But it still has its order there. It still has its power just as equal to Saturn, just a more easier flowing way of getting to it without restricting you, right? But the energy of this 5-year, like I've said before, the energy of moving into a more awakening into the Aquarian age, right? So this has always been an energy for decades now, but we're more moving into that in this 2000 and moving into this new era, okay, from in the 2020 era. Okay, so in the 20s, what is this 10-year going to shape and look like? And we don't want to be restricted. We don't want to be limited in a negative way, right? And certain things that our family, from the ancestors card, certain things that what our family might believe or what society might believe that is negative, it just doesn't work. So I just want to pop back on here because I forgot to turn the card around. But yes, I am good enough, and I am not restricted by old limiting beliefs from my family or from society. On a smaller page, not just on a world page, but in our family, we have to define what works for us, you know, and that can be hard. So good luck. So I just wanted to come back on here and share that. Just add that in. All right, everyone. Happy New Year. Peace. Set your positive intentions for the year. And yeah, I want to stress again that that ancestors card was about that new moon energy, and it made me think of February when the new moon cycle calendar came up too. I thought that, but I didn't say that when I had that card out because I put it away by now. But yeah, that's it. All right, guys, peace.